Um, Obviously, the normal cadence of the season has really been disrupted this year. Even now that you're into a game week, things are different than what you're used to from your previous years. How do you guys go about dealing with that? Finding time to just like take a deep breath, do the kind of things physically and mentally that you need to do to play your best on Saturday.
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of players are ready to go. It's been a long time coming from last year to this year. I definitely can see it in people's eyes that they're ready to go out there and just play Saturday, hit somebody new, just a new uniform to hit. Just we've been hitting each other quite often now, so it'll be good just to go out there Saturday and just hit somebody new and just run around and play football in a new stadium again.
Sean Callahan, Husker Online.
Yeah, Colin, I just wanted to ask, did you guys get black shirts today as you kind of started the game week for Ohio State?
No, we're still waiting on those.
Okay, and then wanted your thoughts on Nick Heinrich. He's playing some outside linebacker now too. How has he been able to kind of transition to playing both positions, and do you see him being a good long-term fit as an outside linebacker?
Yeah, Nick's one of those guys that, like I said last week, he loves being in the film room, loves just learning the defense, loves playing football. So playing inside linebacker, you have to know everyone's job, know everyone's responsibilities, when and where they need to be. So I think he's picking it up really fast because we work with the outside linebackers every day. Two people, they're right next to one another. So I think Nick is doing a great job at pass rushing. He's doing a great job at dropping back. I think it's pretty easy to him.
KETV, Andy Kendi.
Hey, Colin, what's your take? What does it mean to you to be a captain?
To be a captain means the world. Just seeing my fellow teammates just vote me is just I was jaw dropped. Just them thinking that I'm their role model and how to go about the program and how to get things done and to get Nebraska back to what it was is just unbelievable. It's just something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. Yeah, I mean, when they called my name, it took me a second to kind of like bring it all in and whatnot, but it was unbelievable. It was just a lot of guys here that it could have been. A lot of seniors that have been also doing this for a long time too. We got great characters on this team that unbelievable guys that I go into the stadium with every day. So it could have been a lot of people. So hearing my name, I was just like, yeah, it was good. It was a good one.
Thank you.
CBSSports.com, Dennis Dodd.
Colin, at what point, or was there a point where, during this uncertainty, this is really going to impact my senior year, if there's even going to be a senior year for me? How did you deal with that?
Yeah, it was definitely a tough one, just like the highs and the lows, getting good news, and next thing you know is bad news coming along not too long. But yeah, it was tough for the seniors. I know a lot of our guys were just like, what a way to go out. Is eligibility going to be there? Is there not going to be eligibility? Are we going to get to play? Is there going to be fans for our last rodeo? So, I mean, it was a tough one, but thankfully it all worked out that we get to play again in Memorial Stadium and play just Big Ten football again. But, I mean, it was tough for a little bit, just working out and not knowing what's next and running and not knowing what's next. But thankfully we get to play football Saturday.
Omaha World Herald, Sam McEwen.
Hey, Colin, thanks for doing this. Ohio State had a good run game against you guys last year. What impresses you about the Buckeyes' run game, and what do you guys have to tighten up and lock down to slow Ohio State down? Yeah,
Ohio State does a good job. Justin Fields, their offensive line, running backs, they don't beat themselves. They do what they got to do. Everyone's doing their job. So I think if we just know our assignment, know our alignments, and just go play football and just know what you have to do at the right time and where you need to be, I think it would be good.
I have a question about your captaincy. I think about when you signed in 2016, I think you were a defensive end, or you'd signed as kind of that. You've moved positions a couple of times. When did you feel like you really started developing as a leader and finding your sort of footing at Nebraska? Because I know there were some coaching changes right away in the first couple of years of your tenure here.
Yeah. So as I got here, I signed with Coach Hughes as a defensive line coach, and I didn't even get here, and he wasn't even here when I got here. So, I mean, that was my first coaching change, and came in as a defensive end, kind of smaller size. I'm going up guys like Freedom and Ross DeZerez and AJ Natter and all these big guys that are just in the D-line, Mick Stoltenberg, all these big guys that are in the D-line, and then there's just me, So kind of undersized a little bit, use my speed for my advantage. But as I think back to it, I think coming in as a defensive lineman helped me very well, pass rushing with my hands and whatnot. Being in the trenches helped me a lot, playing with those big guys. And then as they transitioned me to outside linebacker with the new coaching staff and everything like that, with Diaco and Riley's staff as going in outside. So then that was a whole nother coaching staff that I was with and coaching in my position. So that was a whole new one. And then comes along Coach Frost, and then Javon Dewitt, and then now with Coach Bray being outside and then inside. So, I mean, a lot of people bouncing around and forth, but every single coach taught me a lot of different things, football-wise, and then how being a man outside of football. So I can't thank them enough for everything they've done for me. But definitely just being a leader kind of like came to me as I got comfortable playing in the inside linebacker, bouncing around a little bit. It's kind of hard because you're trying to learn the system, learn the scheme, learn your position. So you can't really be a leader because you're still trying to learn. But just being in Barrett Ruud's inside linebacker group for a little bit and, going along in Barrett Ruud's situation was just, you had so many leaders in there, Muhammad Berry, and then everybody else like that, just doing a great job of showing you what a leader is. And I think I would say and being an inside linebacker is when I learned how to be a leader.
Right? Like he picked you out of the outside linebackers and said, I want you to play inside, right?
I don't know if that's how it went, but I remember I had like a sit-down conversation, and they were saying that they could see me excel in inside. So made that transition from outside, from Javon Dewitt to Barrett Ruud, inside linebacker.